I've been avoiding talking about this more, but we're going to finally get to it. We are going to talk about the Balenciaga thing. We'll talk about in a second, the groomer shit that like kind of ties into it. But we are going to talk about the
shooting at
Colorado Springs shooting now. Trigger warning, obviously.
At LGBTQ club in Colorado Springs that left 5 people dead. And we're hearing from the Army veteran who helped take him down. Our chief national correspondent, Matt Gutman, is on the scene there for us. Good morning,
there was a dude there. There was a dude there that, literally fucking was unarmed and stopped the shooter, beat the shit out of him alongside a drag queen. We have talked about this already, yes, but I'm now going to cover the additional details that have come out so far. And also on top of that, a good guy without a gun, by the way. Remember, no good guy with a gun, but a good guy without a gun was able to do that. So, it wasn't a drag queen. It was she was a trans woman, not a drag queen. That's the way that she wasn't a drag queen. She was a trans woman. I'm sorry. The original reporting made it seem like it was a drag queen. The media got it wrong. She was actually a trans woman, which, by the way, again, that issue, like what I just mentioned right here, the mistake that the media made, okay? For the record, is exactly at the heart of all these like anti-drag, story time narratives that the right wing crafts. Because when they're saying drag queens should not be around children, like in the state of Texas, where they are trying to put forward a law against like drag queens being in the vicinity of children, they literally just mean all queer people. Okay, that doesn't extend to like specifically drag queens. Okay. Because if that was the case, they would also be like, no theater anymore. No more theater. No more fucking theater for children. No more theater class. We're done with all that. None of that, okay? But that's not what they're going after. They're going after queer people, okay?
Hey, good morning, Robin. You mentioned that hero. He broke his silence last night. He's a combat veteran of Iraq and Afghanistan, and he said his training kicked in. He actually got the suspect from behind, yanking him down. Then he began to pummel him, all the while yelling instructions to other patrons to get the gun away, to call 911. He said in that moment, instinct told him it was kill or be killed.
Overnight, the man police have called a hero speaking to reporters.
I wasn't thinking. I just ran over there. Got him. I gotta kill this.
Brothers and sisters, I'm Yusuf Zaira, but my heart is with y'all. I know that's not better than thoughts and prayers, but no, I agree. Drag queens and kids cannot be mixed under any circumstances. I 100% disapprove. Shut the fuck up, idiot. What do you mean? Like, drag across the board is a performance. Sometimes, or the most famous versions of it, are sexual, okay? That much I admit and understand. Okay, but it's still ultimately a theatrical performance, okay, with a long fucking history. Saying that like, oh, children have to be around, or children can't be around drag queens, or children have to be around drag queens is a fucking idiotic conversation to have when the conversation is not about drag queens and children. The conversation is about trans people and queer people in general, depending on how comfortable right-wing psychos get in openly admitting their bigotry. Nobody has this issue with Mrs. Doubtfire. Nobody has this fucking issue with, Ursula or any kind of other, like, very clear drag queens or any kind of, like, theater performance. They only have an issue when it's somehow about gay people, okay? That's it. It's queer people that is the problem in the eyes of the right-wing media. They are just trying to make it seem like queer people are groomers and queer people are hurting your children. Nobody had this kind of energy when you were talking about any number of different theatrical performances. Nobody had this kind of energy when it was Eddie Murphy in drag. Nobody had this kind of energy for Mrs. Doubtfire. It's not about men dressing up as women, okay? And in a lot of circumstances, drag is performed, again, by cis men, okay? Gay, and often, in a lot of instances, gay, but cis men dressing up as women for a matter of theatrical performance. Okay? That's it. It's like dancing. Some dancing is at a strip club. Some dancing is at a ballet. How the fuck are you going to say kids don't belong at ballet class? Yeah. Tyler Perry's entire career, kabuki theater, played only by men. A lot of the Shakespearean plays, almost all of them originally were exclusively men. Like, this shit has been around for a very long fucking time, okay? Who the fuck hasn't done it? Like, it's just a normal thing. We do it too. I've done it. The difference is when straight men do it as a haha joke or whatever, or as a matter of theater, people don't have that same energy. Okay? It only becomes a problem when gay men do it, or it only becomes a problem when you can weaponize it against trans people in general and queer people in general. Okay? That's it. It's a normal part of history, both within the arts in general, but also just a normal part of the experience that everyone engages in. Okay? I mean, fucking Madison Cawthorn did it. Yeah, he did it. Madison Cawthorn did it. Rudy Giuliani and Trump did it, dude. Here, like, nobody has an issue when it's like straight people fucking around, you know? Steven Crowder does it all the fucking time. To be fair, this should be outlawed. I'm going to be honest. Rudy Giuliani is what I'm referencing. Not Rudy Giuliani in drag, but just Rudy Giuliani should be outlawed.
Like that. Has to have a... You know, you're really beautiful. And a woman that looks like that has to have her own special scent.
Oh, thank you. Maybe you could tell me what you think of this scent.
I like that.
This may be the best of all. Oh, you dirty boy, you. Oh. Donald, I thought you were a gentleman.
You can't say I didn't try. Mayor
It's because it's similar to minstrelry. It's mocking queer people most of the time they perform it.
Giuliani, he's given away over $2 billion in corporate...
I think it's satire. It's a satirical play on gender norms. That's what it is. That's it. Anyway, regardless, okay? The point is, when straight people do it, it's fine. When gay people do it, it's not fine. It's pedophilia, okay? That's literally what they are saying. That's at the heart of this. And it is not a distinction, a genuine distinction. Just like their anger towards drag listening hour or whatever the fuck is not a genuine consideration or a genuine concern. There is no distinction between any of those things because they ultimately just mean that gay shit, okay? The conservative attitude exclusively revolves around saying all matter of queer stuff is actually pedophilic in nature, okay? And half the time, those motherfuckers are libertarians that are just purely projecting or saying it's only okay if, the libertarians do the pedophilia and then say, actually, it's a phebophilia. But there is a scary implication here, which the law boy also correctly points out. The Colorado shooting is the first time I've seen the right react to anti-LGBT violence, not by distancing themselves from the obvious implications of their rhetoric, but by embracing it. Pretty disconcerting stuff. It's pretty obvious that if they believe all their political opponents are blood-sucking pedophiles, violence is a rational response. They can't maintain a nonviolent stance forever. At some point, that tension has to resolve itself, and here we are. Yeah, one thing that a lot of people did, like Ben Shapiro, the appropriate, the moderate conservatives, which weird that Ben Shapiro is now being considered a moderate, holy fuck, was to say, yo, actually, as a matter of fact, like, this isn't about our violent rhetoric towards gay people. And then I asked the question, how many conservatives will actually say, no, it's actually wrong. What the club did was wrong. The club's existence was a bad thing. Tim Pool openly stated that. In the aftermath of this violent action towards a gay club, towards trans people, queer people, gay people, bisexual people in general, Tim Pool openly said, we shouldn't tolerate pedophiles grooming kids. Club Q had a grooming event. How to prevent the violence and stop the grooming? 4,000 likes. This is not a joke. They are now openly fucking talking about murdering gay people because grooming is happening. Where is the grooming happening? It's just in their minds. Okay? Unfollow that freak? What the fuck are you talking about, dude? I don't follow him to endorse him, you fucking dummy. Shut up. That's your main consideration here. Like, you have a fucking psychopath who's literally like, yeah, no, gay people just got murdered, you know, trans people just got murdered, but like, it's okay because they're fucking grooming, and you're like, oh, dude, unfollow that guy. I'm a political commentator. I follow a bunch of people who I consider to be straight up fucking enemies, okay? The grooming of children is not stopping people. People are calling for more violence. I do not think legislators will stop the grooming. People will not stop calling for violence. So you tell me what happens next. It's crazy. Just make a list? What? Dude, everyone can suck my dick from the back if your concern here is follow policing, okay? Literally, as I'm in the process of fucking addressing some psychopathic, unhinged, anti-LGBT incitement of violence, you're literally like, oh, just make a list, stop following them. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. You guys are so fucking stupid. Two pro wrestlers developed the progressive liberal to the bad guys at matches, and the atmosphere turned far darker. Okay, we'll do that later. The Surf said this. Their bodies haven't even been laid to rest, and Tim Pool has spent all day calling the people murdered, groomers, and pedophiles. He, like the rest of the right, isn't reflecting on the violence. They're celebrating it, inciting even more until LGBTQ people are slaughtered. That is exactly what's going on. The mass shootings in Colorado Springs is what happens when you make marginalized communities a public enemy through policies aimed at erasure and banning of books that humanize, affirm, teach. This blood is firmly on the hands of Ron DeSantis, Glenn Youngkin. He says, you're saying if kids can't see porn in school, someone will shoot them up. No, that's not what they're saying, you fucking piece of shit. We shouldn't tolerate pedophiles grooming kids. Club Q had a grooming event. The Club Q had a grooming event is what they're saying is like a all ages drag brunch that they were slated to have. That's what they're fucking saying is a grooming event. Like as though a drag brunch is inherently sexual and sexualized. The issue I have with this is that, like, I remember like a year ago or half a year ago when we were talking about like drag brunch or all ages events happening. Okay, all ages events happening in like in gay clubs and whatnot. The same exact fucking conversation about like kids at Pride / like kink at Pride / drag brunch and shit, or drag reading hour came up. And I told you even then, like, this is not the end all be all of the LGBT movement, but now it's turning into it, okay? Because now these motherfuckers are like, oh, if you do that you deserve to get murdered. Like, that's fucking crazy. Yeah, dude, it's okay. Just basically, your argument is, as long as gay people are existing and doing theatrical performances around anyone, kids, okay, then what they're doing is grooming. Because their ultimate argument is, if you see a gay thing on a Disney movie, that's pedophilia, that's grooming. It's inherently sexualized. The gay existence, the queer existence is inherently sexualized. I've been talking about this for fucking years, okay? That's not the case. You don't think that when you see a love story between a boy and a girl. You don't go, oh, this is inherently sexualized. This is actually really fucked up. Like, immediately, we need to put an end to this. Okay? I think beauty pageants are inherently worse. Child beauty pageants are infinitely worse than drag brunch. Oh, what the fuck? Why'd you come back? Oh, you did? There's the keys are over there. Ali's back. It seems that around 10 p.m. Club Q posted that they were having an all-ages drag show the next day. About 2 hours later, the shooter came in. People keep calling for wood chippers, and this is what happens. What do you mean, people? You're the people. Who's calling for wood chippers, you fucking piece of shit? You are. And he hasn't even said that that's bad and that's wrong. Notice how he hasn't said, like, hey, we shouldn't fucking go and murder gay people because you saw a fucking Facebook post about having an all-ages drag show. If it's, you mean... Anyway, if you're claiming that groomer refers to all LGBT people, then you're calling all LGBT people pedophiles and inciting violence against them. Stop protecting groomers. Stop inciting violence. Like, this is the most insidious fucking way to try and defend this shit that's going on. Which, I mean, it's incredible. I don't know what else to say. It's like, oh, you're defending pedophiles. You're defending. No one is defending pedophiles. Okay, you're the motherfucker who's making the connection between LGBT existence around children or LGBT existence in things that are like Disney movies and pedophilia. You are the one who made that connection. You are doing that. You are the reason why people fucking think that it's okay.
Family-friendly drag shows, quote unquote, have two purposes. One, from the drag queen's perspective, is to satisfy their fetish for cross-dressing in front of children. The other, on a more macro level, is to indoctrinate children into queer theory. To put it simply, the point of Drag Queen Story Hour and the supposed family-friendly drag shows is to turn your children queer. That's
not how this works, man. That's not how this fucking works, you goddamn piece of shit. Oh my God, dude. That's not how this works. That's not how anything works. There is no world in which, like, you see a drag queen and then you fucking turn gay. Or you see a drag queen and you turn trans, okay? Holy fuck. Unless that's like a self-report or something. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about.
Is the goal. And whenever you say that, what I just said right there is going to be clipped by Media Matters. Hello, everybody, on Twitter. The people who invented it stated explicitly that that is the point, to help children live queerly. That's their quote. And the thing about the left is that what they believe and what they do, all of it is so horrifying, so perverse,
it's such
so
a
degraded,
dumb take.
that if you
Bro. Yes, dude. Yes. LGBT representation in fucking media allows people to be more comfortable with their inherent sexuality. Okay? Yes. That is why you're fucking arguing against it. You call it turning people gay. Normal human beings call it being comfortable with your sexuality. That's the main difference here. Okay? No one is turning gay. You don't fucking... Dude, what the fuck? If you could turn gay by seeing some fucking gay shit, then you're gay. You're just gay. You're gay. You're a homosexual. There's nothing wrong with that. That's it. Because if you watch something and it like fucking all of a sudden opens something up in your brain, that means you were that. You were him. You were that. Okay? If the reverse was true, then... you know, the whole conversion therapy, which is just torture, would actually be infinitely successful, but it also wouldn't even need to exist because there's an overwhelming amount more straight representation and heteronormative representation in every fucking media. In every fucking ounce of media, it's just breeders everywhere, cissets everywhere. So there would be no gay people in general because like they would immediately turn back and turn straight again. Like what the fuck were people doing before Will and Grace? Like no gay people existed? Is that what you think?
Quote them, then you somehow sound like the crazy one. If you quote what they are saying, it sounds crazy just to say it out loud because it's so horrifying. Yet it's true. And this is the reason the left...
Why is it true? Because Matt Walsh said it's true. Matt Walsh, the understander of gay people in queer media.
There's so much about this, and they defend it so vigorously. Because according to the left, think about this. According to the left, the drag queen child combination has become dangerous. They say it's a lightning rod for violent backlash. Right? That's what they say. And it's greatly exaggerated, of course. Mostly it's invented out of whole cloth, actually.
Yeah, except for this, past instance, I guess. Except for, like, all the fucking, like, Matt Walsh seen all the gay shit, okay? Do with that information what you will, if you know what I'm saying.
But even by their version of events, if it's causing this much chaos and violence, why do you insist on continuing to do it? If according to you, it's like putting people's lives at risk, if the effort to have...
He's literally saying it. That's the purpose of the violence, is to stop people from doing it. And he's like, just stop, and the violence will stop. That's an insane admission. I mean, I can't believe this motherfucker. I can't believe that we are at a stage now where this guy can just straight up say, stop doing gay shit in public.
Have men cross-dress in front of children is putting people's lives at risk. Why are you still doing it? Is it that important to you? Now, as always, they try to flip the burden around on us. They demand that we explain why we object to children being exposed to drag queens, and we can explain it, and we have, and we will continue to, because it's very easy to explain. Drag is inherently sexual and ideological. It is burlesque, and it's not appropriate to bring your child to a burlesque show. You disgusting freaks. Family friendly.
He literally just, he just straight up said it, like, just listen to the terrorists. Listen to the terror. And stop doing it. Except gay people, queer people in America, understand that this is not about fucking drag queen hour, okay, reading hour. It's about all queerness. Because Matt Walsh doesn't stop, even though you don't need to stop doing drag reading hour or whatever the fuck, okay? But it's not about that anyway. Just like I told you, it was never about fairness in sports. It's just about trying to get trans people, which are the most acceptable vector of hate at the moment, and in some places, that switches over to gay people very quickly. But it's about queer people in general being forced to go back into the shadows. Okay? That's it. I cannot believe that this motherfucker just said, meet the demands of terrorists in the immediate aftermath of a terrorist attack. When the demands are, don't exist. If there is a disgusting freak here, it's this fucking imbecile. He simultaneously thinks that the only crime being committed here is that they object, but when he says if you don't want to get shot, maybe don't be gay and trans, both sides of his mouth, obviously. Yeah, that's crazy. How would this take work with respect to Islamic terrorism? Well, it would work in the identical capacity, because the Islamic terrorism isn't Islamic terrorism, it's fundamentalists who are also, just like Matt Walsh, very much openly opposed to the existence of gay people and trans people. So there is basically no difference between Matt Walsh and a fucking ISIS guy at this point. Like a cleric that is like a pro-ISIS is saying the same shit that Matt Walsh is. Sorry, my entire family's... fucking mother... fuck. My entire family's here, and they're all over the place. Children should not be exposed to drag. Therefore, we should expose them to murder and violence. Yeah. By the way, the shooting happened at night. Okay. Like, there were no fucking kids there. Okay. And also, what kind of fucking logic is that? Then, like, children that go to drag brunch deserve to be fucking mass murdered? Like, what are you saying? The more I see stuff like this about stochastic terror, and the advocacy for stochastic terrorism, the more it pains me to admit this, but like, you should be fucking armed. That's it. Like, it's wild. It would be irresponsible of me to say that you shouldn't. The more I see, like, the John Brown Gun Club in places like Colorado or in Texas, putting armed defenders outside of events like this, the more I realize, like, it is almost a necessity. Conservatives lost their mind at this post of mine, but as long as Elon Musk allows rhetoric like this, I will continue to be correct. Shia Raichik, owner of Libs of TikTok, is easily responsible for dozens, if not hundreds, of LGBTQ deaths at this point, and Elon Musk just a week ago left him a positive reply. How much longer is she, a terrorist, going to be allowed to have a platform? Same with Tim Pool. Same with Matt Walsh. When you call out their tap dance, they love to go, oh, so you support groomers? Why do you assume we mean LGBTQ means groomers? Says a lot, methinks. The current scene outside of a Patchouli Joe's in Denton, Texas, where transgender story time for children is being hosted. This was a couple days back, but yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Where at this stage, like, left-wing armed defenders will go and park outside of these places. Here's the rest of it.
He's gonna kill my kid. He's gonna kill my wife.
The decorated 14-year Army veteran, credited with saving dozens of lives during the nightclub massacre in Colorado Springs, now describing the moment he took the gunman down.
I grabbed him by the back of his little cheap armor thing, and I pulled him down. I grabbed the pistol from him, and I'm on top of him. I'm a big dude, man, and this guy was bigger. And I just kept wailing on him. He's trying to get his ammo, his guns.
Fierro, along with his wife and daughter, were at the club supporting a friend. They survived, but his daughter's boyfriend, Raymond Green Vance, was among the 5 killed. 19 others were wounded.
There are 5 people that I could not help, and one of which was family to me.
22-year-old Anderson Lee Aldrich was arrested on 10 preliminary charges, including 5 counts of first-degree murder and hate crimes.
Typically, there will be more charges in a case like this when we do formal charging.
This ring camera footage showing him surrendering to police in 2021 after allegedly making a bomb threat against his mother. Those charges were later dropped, his record sealed. And that authority...
That's insane, by the way. That happened last year. And one of the charges was kidnapping. Like, they gave him misdemeanor menacing, but also kidnapping was one of the charges because he was at someone else's fucking home, refusing to come out.
Say is what allowed him to legally purchase that AR-style rifle, which he would allegedly use to murder Ashley Paw, Daniel Aston, and Raymond Vance Green, along with Kelly Loving, whose sister says she was always fighting for people, and Derek Rump, his mother telling us her son had a heart of gold. The rifle's bullets also striking patrons like Ed Sanders.
I got hit in the back, and it felt crunchy, like a mini explosion, and I turned around and looked at the guy, and then I noticed that he had a gun and he was shooting.
Sanders shot again in the leg, and Kelly Loving fatally wounded, both of them falling on top of drag queen Wyatt Kent.
I stuck my hand out and I grabbed her hand and I just kept saying, keep squeezing my hand, baby. Keep squeezing my hand, baby.
Kent believes the 2 of them shielded him.
I'm just so thankful to her.
Because she saved her life.
I'm alive because of her.
But this morning, the survivors grateful and defiant.
I'm not going to be afraid or intimidated.
It's been incredible to see the courage.
I'm going to be honest. A lot of people are saying that his grandfather was the mayor of Clanty, Santee, also known as Clanty, and also was like a California politician, and that's why the records were sealed. I don't think so. I think that this is a structural norm. Okay? I don't think his grandfather had to fucking pull strings. I think the reason why that happened is because it's just normal in the criminal justice system. They just see him as like kind of a weird white kid. Okay? You don't want to fucking gut his life ahead of him. He has so much to live for. He has so much to he has so much to accomplish. Okay? That's just the way the system works. It's not true they got sealed because Colorado changed the laws where dismissed cases get sealed. That's what they said on CNN. Well, the fact that he was also able to literally get away with it without being convicted is what I'm talking about within the criminal justice system. Bro. A bomb threat called by the kid's mother. A bomb threat called by the kid's mother and kidnapping charges on top of that. That's crazy that they just dropped all of that.
Of the survivors to experience it. Now, some of the survivors, including that hero Richard Fierro, saying they look forward to.
Yeah, they brought back every major LGBTQ account, anti-LGBTQ account, and then suspended the Elm Fork John Brown Gun Club, which protects LGBTQ events in Texas from armed neo-Nazis and Proud Boys who are threatening them, really showing what Twitter is prioritizing. Yeah, they got suspended. I don't know what they said, but that's nice of Elon to just show, extreme left wing, dude. Extreme left wing is when you defend trans people. Extreme right wing is not when you murder trans people. I don't know what extreme right wing is, to be honest. What is extreme right wing at that point? Like what? When you do genocide? Like when you do literally just the Holocaust? And even on that front, like, 2021 video appears to show Colorado club shooting suspect ranting about the police. Let's see if this fucking works.
We just have seen some new video just released that appears to show the shooting suspect ranting about police during a 2021 standoff. Let's watch this.
This is your boy. I've got the heads outside. Look at that. They got a beat on me. You see that right there? Heads got their rifles out. If they breach, I'm gonna blow it to holy hell. So, go ahead and come on in, boys. Let's see it.
That guy got, like, they didn't do anything. That dude was let go, bro. That dude was let go, dog. Yeah, they let him have a gun after that. I don't know if he bought the gun or if he already had it. They didn't take it away. For the chatter who was talking about the DA who was talking about the charges being sealed, that's literally the DA who declined to pursue charges against that fucking guy. So that's just the DA hiding behind whatever laws he can to protect his reputation. Exactly. That's insane, bro. Like, he's like some fucking groiper who thinks he's like gonna go out like Waco.
I said, Nick, what are you learning about this video and this history?
Well, so Wolf, this video was from the summer of 2021, and there is another piece of video that was captured by a doorbell camera that actually shows the suspect walking out of the house with his hands up and giving himself up to sheriffs after a fairly lengthy negotiation. Now, what happened is the suspect's mother had called 911 to say that her son was threatening her with a bomb and other weapons. So that has led to a lot of people around here questioning, well, how was he allowed to buy these handguns? This handgun and this rifle? Because, we have been told by two law enforcement officials that records show this suspect did purchase these weapons himself. So people are asking, why was there no background check? Why were red flags not raised by this previous interaction? Well, here is what we just found out.
Well, it's America. That's how.
In 2019, the law here in Colorado was changed, and no charges were ever pursued against the suspect for that summer 2021 incident.
There you go. That's what I was saying, is that they didn't even pursue charges for this interaction.
So therefore, under Colorado law, if a case is dismissed for whatever reason, those records are sealed. So that would not have flagged him as a potential problem.
That's wild, dude. I don't know. I don't know what to say other than, like, I mean, look at this shit, dude.
Raymond Green Vance's family says he had just landed a new job and couldn't wait to save enough money to get his own apartment. They say he was a kind, selfless young adult with his...
Because no charges, no crime. Technically, I support that as a policy. Bro, no charges, no crime for, like, misdemeanor possession. No charges, no crime. No charges is the part that I have an issue with. Brother, first of all, here's the crime. If that interaction, if that altercation after the mother's, he didn't make the bomb threat. The mother did, okay? If that altercation was bullshit, then the mother is actually responsible for a crime. You understand that, right? Holding up EMS and emergency services in general for false calls is called swatting and quite literally a crime punishable by serving in a fucking federal prison, okay? You will have to serve time in federal prison. So either the mom committed a crime or the son committed a crime, okay? And if the mom isn't going to fucking jail, and if the son isn't going to fucking jail, what the fuck happened? The mom called and said he was threatening her with a bomb. Yes. Okay? That is, if there's no bomb and it actually was just a complete misunderstanding or whatever the fuck, right? Would still be, you know, at least grounds for some kind of fucking criminal prosecution. If there's a crime between two people, it's up to the victim to press charges as well. Why does nobody understand this? No. When you fucking call the cops on bullshit, when you call the cops on an unnecessary call and the bomb squad comes in, you are holding up police resources, okay? That in and of itself is still a crime. All facts on this family get more and more insane, man. What the fuck is this? On June 18th, 2021, Aldrich was booked in the El Paso County Jail on 2 counts of felony menacing, like I said, and 3 counts of kidnapping after a bomb threat. Accused Club Q shooter changed name at 15. Dad was an MMA and porn star, and a mom had the arrest record. Wait, what? Is this real? I feel like this can't be real. Oh, no, this person works at the Denver Gazette. What the fuck? Okay. On a neighborhood doorbell surveillance video obtained by the Gazette, Aldrich can be heard saying to his mother, "This is the day I died. They don't give a fuck about me anymore," clearly. A relative told the Gazette that he was referring to the Pullens and their decision to move. On a standoff at his mother's home on a neighborhood doorbell surveillance video obtained by the Gazette. The new video obtained by the Gazette shows the events leading to the arrest of 22-year-old Anderson Lee Aldrich, whose name and age matched that of the suspect arrested on Saturday's Q Club shooting, in a connection with the June 2021 bomb threat reported by his mother in Lorson Ranch neighborhood. Law enforcement officials investigating Club Q shooting said Aldrich's interactions with law enforcement are a part of the broader investigation. Aldrich faced arrest-only charges of felony kidnapping and menacing in the incident, though no formal charges were pursued and his case was sealed. Aldrich was jailed, but no formal charges were ever filed and the case has been sealed. It's unknown where he has been living for months of 2022 leading up to Saturday night's shooting. There are indications that Aaron Brink's son had a fascination with gay culture. Aldrich, as Nicholas Brink, established a YouTube channel in 2010 using the moniker The As Backward. He may have been the creator of an animated 45-second video displayed on the site called Asian Homosexual Gets Molested. It was the only video on the channel. In 2011, Aldrich's biological father, Aaron Brink, went high profile with his divorce from a pornography actress on an episode of Divorce Court. Months later, on January 14, 2012, as first reported by the Gazette, Brink's mother committed arson in San Antonio according to Behar County records. At the time, Brink was still 11. Aaron Brink was a porn actor who went by the name of Dick Delaware. He played the role of Electro in 2011 film Spider-Man XXX, a porn parody. According to According to IMDb, it was adult films which led him down the path of drugs, including crystal methamphetamine. In July 2009, when Anderson was still 9 years old, his father appeared on the reality show Intervention, where his then fiance begged him to quit drugs. This is the only link I could find on YouTube from that 2009 Intervention episode.
Turn from a totally normal person into, like, within seconds, into this person who's craving, ravenous to look at porn. Just sit there and stare at porn.
What the fuck? Dude, I remember that episode. What is happening, bro? Aaron's first gospel on Dan Quinn? No shot. No fucking shot. This is the Dan Quinn. No shot. Nope, don't believe that. Here's the article in the Denver Gazette, by the way. Oh. 2 weeks before his 16th birthday, the man accused of murdering 5 people in Colorado Springs nightclub changed his name to distance himself from his father and an extremely troubled childhood. On May 2nd, 2016, according to Texas County records, Nicholas Franklin Brink became Anderson Lee Aldrich. His upbringing is marked by a biological father with a criminal history who dabbled in drugs and worked in the porn industry, and a mother with multiple arrests in California and Texas. The two parents separated while Aldrich was a toddler. His difficult childhood and earlier existence as Nicholas Brink offer the first clues of the mysteries of who the suspected gunman was. Although it is unclear yet if his tumultuous childhood is related in any way to the attack at Club Q. Shortly before he changed his name, the suspected shooter apparently was a target of online bullying and showed signs of fascination with gay culture. A petition for the name change obtained by the Denver Gazette shows the reason for the name change, handwritten by his biological grandmother, Pamela Pullen, was minor wishes to protect himself and his future from any connections to his birth father and criminal history. Father has had no contact with the minor for several years. By the way, it is kind of fucking wild. We're doing this thing again. You know, troubled childhood, backstory of a guy who just fucking killed 5 queer people in a queer nightclub. You know, what the fuck? We're doing it. We're doing the tragic story. I mean, I don't have sympathy for him, obviously. I do not. Even though the system has obviously failed him. His parents have obviously failed him. You don't get to that fucking degree that early on and engage in such fucking psychotic actions. Aldrich's biological grandmother and step-grandfather, Pamela and Jonathan Pullen, his mother. I'm worried that motherfuckers are going to take this to spin it and say he's gay, by the way. Just remember. So understand that this new information will 100% be weaponized to say, oh, it's just like lover's quarrel. It's happening. Pamela Pullen signed her name as Aldrich's legal guardian. Aldrich spent much of his time in recent years living with his maternal grandmother and stepfather, Pamela and Jonathan Pullen, in the Colorado Springs area before they moved to Florida in late 2021. On June 18th, 2021, Aldrich was booked in El Paso County Jail on 2 counts of felony menacing on a neighborhood doorbell surveillance video obtained by the Gazette. Aldrich can be heard saying to his mother, "This is the day I died. They don't give a fuck about me anymore." Clearly, a relative told the Gazette that he was referring to the Pullens and their decision to move. Aldrich was jailed, but no formal charges were ever filed and the case has been sealed. It's unknown where he's been living for most of 2022 in leading up to Saturday night shootings. A relative who wished to remain unidentified told the Denver Gazette that he chose the name Anderson Lee Aldrich because he liked the initials ALA, but no further information was given as to what the 3 letters represent. Sunday morning, Aldrich, who witnesses say dressed in tactical gear and carrying multiple firearms, allegedly shot and killed 5 people and injured 17 others. Aldrich was beaten with his own pistol by a customer and stomped on by a trans woman at Club Q and remains in the hospital. Nick Brink became Anderson Aldrich with an order granting his name change just 5 days after he petitioned for it by Behar County records. The Denver Gazette has been piecing together what appears to be a troubled childhood. There are a few social media school records for the 22-year-old. The Washington Post reported that at age 15, around the time of his name change, he was targeted online for bullying and photos. At the time, Aaron Brink was starting his career as an MMA fighter. He was arrested at age 41 in Rockland, California for burglary, being under the influence of a controlled substance, and parole violation. American League of Aryans, ALA? What? No, dude. I mean, he was fucking 16, brother. I don't know if he was trying to do that.
Entire life ahead of him. He was at Club Q with his longtime girlfriend and her parents, including her father, Richard Fierro, who did help stop the gunman, but not before Raymond was fatally wounded. Now, Richard and I spoke just before airtime, and I do want to warn you, it is a raw, emotional discussion, And what he describes is as graphic as you might imagine. Major Fierro, so take us back to when the gunman first entered the club. What happened? Because you're quoted in the New York Times as saying you went into combat mode. What instincts kicked in from your tours in Iraq and Afghanistan?
Bro,
listen, first of all, I just want to say
this is the weirdest fucking way to cover this, bro. Like, they're like, come on, bro. Like, talk about your military experience and how that helped here. I'm sorry, but this is like, in some ways, what CNN is doing here is no different than what Steven Crowder was doing earlier, when Steven Crowder was literally talking about like how the Iranian democratic process is yet another stain on democracy in general. He used that as an opportunity to shit on democracy because that's his fucking goal. That's his, that's his overwhelming message. CNN is using this as an opportunity to be like, yo, your war experience, your military experience, like it really helped you, right? Major, please tell us more about your fucking endless trauma that you probably are not getting the adequate health care for. I don't know. Jesus Christ. Everyone's got for why they cover things a certain way that they do. Ultimately, I don't know what else to say about this, dude. I don't know. I mean, this is fucking insane. And immediately after, we're going to go back to talking about Herschel Walker's new trans athlete ad. You know what I mean? Like, as though that's like a significant thing that is happening in Georgia. You know what I mean? Like, that's what he cut. He cut that shit. Conservatives are not backing down from this. They don't give a fuck that they lost the election partially because of this, because all the anti-trans rhetoric, freaked people out. And we're like, we don't care about this. Like, you guys are being insane. I think at this point, they just don't care. They like hate queer people existing in society more than they care about like winning anything democratically. Yeah, ultimately, yeah, CNN did the oorah fucking military, the most like military coverage that they could get out of this. But they're still centering the conversation around survivors, victims, and the heroic efforts by people that were there. And so that goes a long way. Treating it like some kind of war hero fantasy narrative when this is a real guy with real trauma who clearly doesn't care about pushing the agenda and the news are presenting him with. Even called him a war hero again at the end to cement it in. Absolutely furious. Yeah. If the shooter targeted a family drag event, doesn't that certify the fact that Walsh's hateful rhetoric contributed to this terror attack? We don't know if this kid was like watching Matt Walsh, but Matt Walsh's goal is to have kids like that do shit like that. That's his goal. That's the reason why they're doing it. He literally said it. He said, I want you to stop. I want you to stop. In the immediate aftermath of this terror, this terroristic action. Matt Walsh didn't say, oh man, it's so fucking shitty that, violence is happening. He literally just doubled down. I don't know like how to deal with this. You're just in the hands of private corporations at that stage. Like, they control what is allowed and what's not allowed. And I don't think Facebook is ever going to fucking make serious changes on that front. Maybe YouTube, but not really. We know Twitter is not going to do anything. It's 100% the goal. They whip people up and say shit like, I'm not saying you should do violence, but if it were me, I'd do violence, and then like to feign that they are not at least partially responsible when this shit happens. Another, going back to the global conversation here, but going back to like even the global conversation, with respect to like Qatar, like people it's something as silly as like all these fucking tweets that are popping off. People making it seem like gay stuff is just like Western imperialism. Here, look, I just saw this while I was fucking peeing, and just quote tweeted it. Look at this shit. Like this weird like tweet decking framework. Anyone else not noticing the irony of Westerners who have for so long said if you don't like things here, go back to your own country and don't bring Sharia law here, all of a sudden enforcing their own laws and cultures onto a different country? Almost like they think they are the default. Like, what kind of fucking stupid take is this? What happened to these dumb fucking idiots, dude? Or what happened to these fucking baboon-brained dickheads that like got so woke that they thought this like wokeness concept applies to everything. What the fuck is this? Yeah, college overdose, 100%. You did too much college. Like, what do you think? There's no fucking gay people in Qatar? Like, what does this take? They think like gay people and weird people only exist in the West or some shit. Like, motherfucker wore a rainbow shirt and they're making it seem like the entire nation of Qatar should be is right and justified in being angry. Leftist logic, conversion therapy is bad, but convincing children that they're an entirely gender is good. Yeah, I mean, this is literally happening right now. Yeah, no, it's clear, dude. You could have a fucking shooter straight up go out. If the past 4-6 years have shown us anything, it's that conservatives don't give a fuck. When the target is gay people, they don't even apologize for the violence either. Like, they don't even say, I condemn the violence. But it's obvious. El Paso showed this, like I said, under the Trump administration, when that fucking mass shooter wrote a manifesto, went to El Paso, said he was going to try to kill as many brown people as possible at the El Paso Walmart. When they, when the Buffalo grocery store shooting happened, when the dude was literally like, I want to kill as many black people as possible. At least in those instances, a lot of conservatives are like, oh man, I abhor violence. Like, that's crazy. A lot of these conservatives aren't even saying that right now. This is what they do when they can't say the shooter was a leftist. Yeah. Well, they could say the shooter was a leftist in this instance. I think it's interesting that they even choose not to do that here. I think they're choosing not to do that here because they think what the shooter did is good. I'll say it. I think they think what the shooter did is good. I think they want more of these shootings to happen. And that is precisely why they're not even saying, oh, what the shooter did was wrong. They don't even have the decency to fucking lie and act like they hate the shooting. They're not even fucking condemning it, dude.